that, I also want to touch on emotion and the perception of negative and positive. And I want to share with you that my reality is when I feel something at the depth of my soul, my instant reaction is tears. So how many people here associate tears with sadness and pain? Nobody. I love it. So if I cry at some point, know that it comes from my soul, and I'm okay with that vulnerability. And like everybody here, I have a story that drives my passion, and that brought me here. So I want to share a little bit about that. I was born into a home with addiction and abuse, and where I really never felt like I belonged, and I never felt loved. And I chose a little bit of a polar opposite path of a lot of people. With every broken bone and every harsh word said, I decided at the core of my being what kind of parent I wanted to be. I decided how my children would feel emotionally, mentally, and physically. When I was 11, my parents separated. The abuse became more severe. My mind became my father's playground, and my brother became my responsibility. By 13, my father bought me my first drink in a bar. At 14, I had dropped out of school, and I was regularly turning to boys and alcohol, looking for love and connection in all the wrong places. And when I got pregnant at 16, every decision I had made formed my reality and probably saved my life. My kids are my everything. And I did everything for them. Over the next 5 years, I ended up married with a man who treated me very much the same as my father. And that marriage ended in a fiery mess when I was 4.5 months pregnant with my second child. It was in that moment, my lowest of lows, that I dedicated my entire being to my children, to being the parent and providing them the upbringing that I wished I would have had. And I know there's a few of you in here with kids. Do you ever get caught in the daydream that snowballs into the future? Like, oh, they learn to walk, and soon they'll be going to school, and this is going to happen, and it's going to be great and wonderful. Has anybody experienced that? Pretty common. It was in one of those moments for me that my entire life changed. I was thinking about my oldest son is in grade 10. He's going to be graduating. He's going to move out on his own. He's going to have great adventures. And in a split second, that daydream turned to a nightmare. I was consumed with terror. Because in that moment, I realized 3 things. 1, I was going to be on my own too. 2, there's a huge difference between being confident in what you do and being confident in who you are. And the scariest of all, number 3, I had no idea who I was. How many people have been so dedicated to something, whether it be your career or your spouse or your children, that you realize you've lost yourself? Thank you. That requires a lot of vulnerability. And it's good to know that I'm not alone. So for me, I had a couple of years left. I was pretty lucky, but I needed to figure out who I was really quick. Because if I didn't do that, I was going to be lost when my kids left home. So I want to share with you 3 keys to where confidence in who you kinds of wonderful things. The first thing to know is that you are loved and supported beyond your wildest imagination. Because we chose to incarnate into this life. And we knew it wasn't going to be easy. So we set up an entire spiritual support team to be there with us all the way through. Who here identifies with being intuitive? And who here isn't quite sure or has a little bit of doubt? Okay, perfect. This one's for you. The newsflash is everybody is intuitive. We are all born with a connection to everything that is more than this human existence. In my language, I call it spirit. Some people call it universe. Some people call it God. They're all really the same thing at the end of the day. And the reason that you have doubts is because this life, be it family, be it society, something happens that causes you to turn down the volume on that intuitive connection. For me personally, I've always known things that are beyond my years or my experience. And in my childhood, if I couldn't explain how I knew something, it was deemed the same as lying. And for me personally, lying was physically dangerous. So I turned that volume down in order to be safe and protect myself. I have a client who, at 10 years old, dreamt that his best friend's dad was going to die. And 3 days later, his best friend's dad died. At 10 years old and no one to talk to, how terrifying would that be? Of course he turned that volume down. And as adults, we have the ability to reconnect, to turn that volume back up, because our circumstances are now different. It is no longer dangerous for me to relay messages or to know things that I have no way of knowing. In fact, it's what helps my clients the most, because I can see under the surface. I know where the issues live, and it becomes quicker and easier to get to the root of them and plant new seeds. So I invite you to look back to your childhood and just remember who you were in that moment. Did you know things that you couldn't explain? Did you feel things physically or emotionally? Did you see colors? Did you have dreams? These are all ways your spiritual support system communicates with you. And it is a beautiful relationship when you can build that trust back up. Because what happens when you build that communication is you know you are always on the right path. I want to give you an example of that knowing. I was talking to Jen last night at dinner, who asked me how I got here. And honestly, it's a crazy story. Last year, I made a pact with Spirit that I would say yes to opportunities that arose. And who knows how many even showed up in my Facebook feed. I don't even think we have any common friends. But it kept happening, right? Once it was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Twice was like, oh, that guy again. Third time, I was like, okay, I hear you guys. I need to actually look at what this is. So Mandy and I get on the phone, and I'm from Northern Canada, right? Like, I traveled 12 hours to be on this stage. So, talking to him, I'm like, I know public speaking is something I need to do, but I don't know if the timing is right. So, we make a deal. We're gonna follow up at 11 o'clock Thursday morning. I'm sitting there, and I always picture my spiritual support team right here. So if I look up here, that's us. I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to my guys. It's like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be public speaking, but I don't know if right now is the right time. If this is what I'm supposed to do, I need you guys to let me know. And what I need from you is I need the money in my bank account before I talk to Manny again on Thursday morning. I have no idea how the hell this is going to happen. Right? I just want that money to magically appear, and I'll know I'm on the right path. And at 8 o'clock Thursday morning, I get a text from the very last person on the planet that I ever thought would pay me money that they owed me. And completely written off the debt because my ex-husband and I do not have a good relationship. But I get a text that the money is going to be in my bank account Friday morning. Now, I have a really good connection to my spiritual support team, so I can be a bit of an asshole sometimes. And I look up and I say, that's nice, guys, like that's close. But the deal was I would have the money in my account before our follow-up call. 20 minutes later, I get a message from Manny that says, hey, something came up. Can we move our call till tomorrow? I know, I'm going to say just 10 minutes. So, when you build that relationship, you can get clear guidance. This isn't a fluke, one-off. This is not the only story I have like this. But that's how you know. And you can be confident you're moving in the right direction. Takes the guesswork out. The other thing to practice when it comes to confidence is knowing that we are only on this planet for two reasons. To help and to learn. This is the key. Has anybody ever ridden the coulda, woulda, shoulda, tilt-a-whirl? You know that one that goes around and around and around until you want to puke? That one? These two reasons will stop that ride. So what happens when we replay woulda, coulda, shoulda? We're stuck in the past. Our energy is in a past action. And once you figure out how that situation helped or what you learned, you can then have the appreciation required to stop that ride. And it's not an easy thing to do. Sometimes that ride is so fast and so nauseating, it's really hard to see clearly. So I want to share with you that I know how difficult this ride can be. This is a personal experience that I have never shared on a stage before. It was June of 2014. And I had a knock at my door in the middle of the night. It turned out that it was a friend of my brother's that I had met only twice. And he was panicked and out of breath. And over the next few minutes, that seemed like an eternity, he told me that he had stabbed somebody at my brother's house, and my brother was in the back of a police car. and he wanted a ride to his own vehicle. And in that moment of my own panic, the only thing that my brain could hang on to was that he was drunk, and I couldn't let him drive a vehicle, of all things, because he might hurt somebody. That made sense in my brain at that point. So I drove him across town. And it wasn't until I pulled over on the side of the road that things started to click in my brain. And my stomach dropped. And I couldn't believe what I had just done. And at the same time, as those pieces are coming together, I'm also afraid to keep him in my car. So I let him out. And really freak out the whole way home. And again, I reached out to my spiritual support team, and I begged them to show me how I could possibly make this situation right. And it was 4 hours later that the RCMP, which are Canadian police, showed up at my front door. And I know this is my opportunity to make things right. You see, they had no idea anybody else had been at the crime scene. Given our childhood, my brother has a huge criminal record. He was the only man at the scene. They figured hands down they had their guy. So the good news is, the evidence that they found in my house was enough for them to release my brother. However, I was still on this temporal, as a nationwide warrant was issued for second-degree murder for the man that I drove away. And I don't know that I could have gone off this ride without the very few people in my life that I trusted to share this story with. Turns out he did turn himself in a week later. But at the end of the day, it helped in 2 ways. One, because of my brother's criminal record and the life he led, he wasn't talking to the police. So through the evidence that they found in my house, he was released from jail, or he would have been the one standing trial for a murder he did not commit. And number 2, because of my brother's record, my family would have questioned whether or not he had committed this crime. And because I can unequivocally say that he didn't, he had the full love and support of my family from day one. But even more than that, what I learned in that moment is how easy it is to be an armchair judge and not even realize you're doing it. My father's a heroin addict who took care of business with a sawed-off shotgun. This situation wasn't outside my scope of imagination. However, I always thought I knew exactly what I would do when that moment came. And it was the exact opposite of what I actually did. So until we're in the situation, we can try to imagine. We can try to empathize. But we never really know. The other one being that if I had read my story in a paper, I would have been all what I could have, should have on that. Because I didn't realize that I was even doing it. I have to speed up. I only have 5 minutes and I still got an exercise. The third point that I want to touch on really quick is life is a team sport. I was brought up thinking that I had to do everything on my own. And to ask for help was a weakness. To show emotion was a weakness. And I can guarantee you it requires far more strength to stand up and share your stories than it does to hide in the background. And when we look at mindset, we look at beliefs, it is so much easier to get help than it is to try and plow through the tar and the sticky, messy parts all by yourself. So if you have any stories that you're struggling with, if you are on that merry-go-round, if you are looking to develop your intuitive gifts, I encourage you to come and talk to me. Those are the conversations I'm super passionate about. And the one thing that I wish I would have realized earlier in my life is that asking for help and seeking that out and cutting your learning time is the bravest thing you can do. The other thing, ironically, that I learned through all this is my entire life I have strived for love and connection. That's been my passion. And I had it inside me the entire time. So I want to share with you a quick exercise on why you are so important. Does everybody have a pen and a piece of paper? You could take that out would be great. I have to speed through this, so if you have any questions about it, please come and see me. So this exercise is 2 parts. The first part, I want you to take your pen in your non-dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, it'll be your left hand. I see you figuring it out. All right. And I want you to draw a spiral from the outside in. And this spiral represents the search for love, appreciation, and connection from outside of yourself. And we do it with our non-dominant hand because when we're searching outside of ourselves, we're playing a passive role. And I want you to look at your circle, and you're going to notice 2 things. Number 1, the lines are probably pretty shaky, little inconsistent maybe. Those represent emotion. Emotions such as depression, such as resentment, such as that not fair feeling when you give more than you receive. Because we're reacting the outside and drawing it into us. The other thing that you're going to notice is this spiral is limited. When we work from the outside, there's only so much room. Right? So now, part 2 is my favorite. I want you to take control. I want you to discover who you really are. And I want you to now have a pen in your dominant hand. And I want you to draw the spiral from the inside out. There's 2 things that you're going to notice about this spiral. Number 1, the lines are probably far more consistent. And there's going to be little dips here and there because we're human. We all have emotion. And we all get stuck in places. But there are not going to be as many. And number 2, the only limits to this spiral are the parameters of your page. Because when you draw from the inside, that reach is now infinite. And every line in that spiral can be an interaction during your day. It can be someone that you touch, whether it is the barista at the coffee shop, or your children, or your spouse. And in that interaction, you're creating another spiral. So my question for you is, how far do you want your spiral to reach? Reach for the stars. Find the love, appreciation, and connection within yourself, and you will have the confidence to go out and spread your spiral. That's it for me. I think my time is up. In my business, I don't work with everybody, but I am doing a draw for a breakthrough session with me. If that is something that you're interested in and you want to work on that spiral and that self-connection, I have entry forms in the back if you want to come see me.
Are you not very proud of Michelle for being so vulnerable and telling her story? Why don't we just give her another hand? We're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we're going to be back here with even more amazing speakers from around the world at the 1000 Speakers Academy. Thank you so much.
Sorry, say again?
Do you know where the forms are talking about?